Welcome to our next edition of Small Town Downtown, where we drive through 10 small incorporated towns, and then at the end of the video I rate them from my best to worst, and then you can put your rankings in the comments. We're on Old Highway 40 in western Kansas, just west of the town of Waukene, and we're heading west, so we'll see what we can find. We're not too far from Colorado, so let's check out our first small town downtown. Our first town is Collyer, Kansas, located in Trego County, population of only 97. It was established in 1878 and named for the Reverend Robert Collyer. The population was about triple its current size 70 years ago and has slowly gotten smaller down to 97. Even though it's a very, very small town, there are a couple of interesting old buildings and unique things to see driving through the downtown. Quinter has this really nice mural kind of in the middle of the downtown area. We're now in Gove County for several of the next towns. Population 929 for Quinter, established in 1885, named for the Reverend James Quinter, so two towns in a row named after reverends. It was originally a railroad switching site called Malata, and then it became known as Familton, changed to Quinter in 1886. We are currently kind of in the highest stages of population. Since 1970, the population has been around this number. So good to see a town out here in western Kansas that has not lost population. As we continue in Gove County, we're now in Park, Kansas, with a population of 112. It was established in 1879. It was named Buffalo Park and then just shortened to Park in 1895. Population is about half of what it was in the 1950s and down, like I said, to 112. It was kind of hard to figure out exactly what you would call the downtown. There are a couple of different roads that have older buildings. This right here by the railroad was probably, I'm guessing, the downtown, and maybe when it had a population twice the size of its current level, maybe there were more buildings here. But there's also a crossroad of which this beautiful church is on, that there were a couple schools. So I kind of drove down a couple of the roads to show you what might have been the main streets in Park. Grainfield, Kansas, located in Gove County, has a population of 322, was established in 1879, and obviously named for the wheat fields in the area. The population grew to over 400 by 1980, has gone down a little bit since then. The Opera House on the left here at the end of the street is on the National Register of Historic Places. Another really cool mural here in Grinnell, Kansas, in Gove County, population 260. It was established around 1870 and named for a local businessman named Moses Grinnell. Population similar to Grainfield, how it went up, and it peaked at 449 in 1970, has gone down a little bit more to its current level of 260. over to Oakley, Kansas, and this is a very long main street. There's actually more than after I recorded. But Oakley's actually in 3 different counties, Gove, Logan, and Thomas counties, but it's the county seat of Logan County with a population of 2,046. It was founded in 1884. Post office started 1 year later. It was named after the mother of one of the town's founders. This area was originally called Carlisle, then was changed to Cleveland, and then in 1885 with the post office it became Oakley. The 2000 mark was hit in 1960 and has stayed above 2,000 ever since, just losing a little bit of its population. Down to Winona, Kansas, staying in Logan County, has a population of 193. It was established in 1884 and had the funny name of Gopher. And then in 1887, it was renamed Winona after the mother of Hiawatha and Longfellow's The Song of Hiawatha. Kind of interesting way to get a name. Population peaked at almost 400 in 1960 and has been cut in half since the last census. There are some really interesting things to see along this downtown, some old buildings like that old church right there. Hard to see in some of the shadows, but they have a nice painting on the wall there. One of the smallest incorporated towns in Kansas is Sharon Springs, located in Logan County, population 26, founded in 1865 on the Butterfield Overland Dispatch stage line. Had a post office in 1887, named for Aver Russell of the Kansas Volunteer Cavalry in the Natural Springs. It was a county seat till 1963, and that was the old county courthouse, which is now a museum about the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. The population peaked at almost 200 in 1940, and you can see why the county seat was moved to Oakley as it's gotten smaller and smaller, but definitely a cool little town to visit. More awesome murals and tiny towns as we've now gotten to Wallace, Kansas, and Wallace County, population of only 41. Post office started in 1872. The town began after the establishment of Fort Wallace, which was built here in 1865. It was named for General W.H.L. Wallace. Population peaked actually in the 1890s at 220 and certainly continues to dwindle down to its current number today. Our final town is Sharon Springs, Kansas. This is the Wallace County seat. Population of 751. It was founded in 1868 and it was called Eagle Trail. And then in 1886, it was renamed Sharon Springs after the town of Sharon Springs, New York. There was one census in 1970 where the population went above 1,000. And then has gone down pretty consistently since there. But there are a lot of cool old buildings, and the courthouse is along this main street as well. This was a much tougher grouping of towns to try to figure out 1 through 10 than the first video I did. I didn't find, besides Park, I put Park at the bottom there wasn't a ton there, and it was a little bit confusing as to what was downtown. But all the other ones, there wasn't anything that was like not good, and there wasn't anything that was like incredibly awesome. And like in the first video, Caldwell, Kansas was really, really awesome. There wasn't anything at that level, but everything was really close. Very difficult to rank, but I'm going to do it because I said I was going to do it. We'll see how much different it is than yours. But I'm gonna go with my number one is Quinter. And Quinter had that really cool mural and just a little bit more in terms of old buildings there. And so that's gonna be my number one. Number two, I'm gonna go with Oakley. It has the advantage of being, you know, the biggest town on this list with over 2,000 people. And it's this long street that you can continue looking left and right. There's some pretty cool buildings. There's a old hotel at the end, the Annie Oakley Hotel. And so I give that number two, and a very close third with so many others. I'm gonna go with Winona. And I just felt like that for as small as of a town it was really interesting. Some of the old buildings down there. It had also a great mural, but it was really close. Like Sharon Springs, I could have put it third. Collyer, I thought was had some interesting things in the downtown. So all these towns, pretty interesting to check out. Really glad I did. What was your list? What was your top 2 or 3? Put them in the comments. We'll see how we compare. Now, after I visit Sharon Springs, I made one more stop that wasn't a town, but I figured since it was at the end of this trip, I would put it at the end of this video. So let's go there now. Well, it's not the easiest of drives out to Mount Sunflower, but we have officially made it to the highest point in Kansas, 4,039 feet. And it is beautiful, spectacular, just open range out here. This is actually private property. And so, but yeah, I mean, how beautiful is this? Like, you can't beat this. Well worth the drive down the back roads of Wallace County. And Colorado is just right there on the, I mean, you probably see it over there. But yeah, highest point in Kansas. Who would have thought? 4,000 feet in the state of Kansas. I hope you enjoyed the small town downtown episode. Always great to check out these western Kansas towns that seems like in some ways they're stuck in the past kind of architecturally, which I love. So that's, I think, a good thing. So I really enjoyed the drive. Hope you did too.